Hi,
Nice
Katya. How
to
you
meet
doing?
you, longtime fan.
Thank you.
You've definitely played some of my favorite characters. So let's start off by saying, what drew you to the character of Dane Walter? What about him made you say, "Hey, this is something I want to jump into"?
The writing of the first two episodes I thought was really good. I'm a fan of David's work and Susanna's work as well, and so you know that whatever they're going to do with the show is going to be a smart, clever, endearing, and engaging. And I thought, well, let's jump on board. Let's see what this is going to be. And so I read the scripts, and it's intriguing. And Dane, I keep describing him like an onion. You think you know him, and then a layer gets peeled off. You see how much he cares about the women, about his agents. You see his power within the agency and just the weight of responsibility. And so all of that drew me to him, and I thought this is going to be interesting to play.
How would you describe Dane's leadership style within the CIA Moscow station? How would you describe it?
It's a very good leadership style in that he allows his agents to feel like they are deciding things for themselves. And he sits back and watches the results. He doesn't ever say, do this, do this, do this. And then he does to the girls at first, but afterwards he puts a phone in her room and doesn't tell her and just lets it be natural. In many way, yeah, in many ways, the fact that they're not trained is their greatest strength because if they're trained, you can smell agent on them. You smell that they've been, they have that kind of those ways of trying to get information. But if they're genuinely untrained, they're genuinely fearful, they're genuinely in the moment. I think it's a really good thing for them. It protects them in a way.
Absolutely. Sometimes naivete and ignorance can truly be your strength.
Mm.
What are some aspects of Dane's internal conflict that you found particularly challenging, rewarding to explain? Example, like him balancing loyalty to the agency and willingness to take a risk on these, untrained agents.
He's very much involved in the game of chess that the political powers are playing with each other, and he just wants to play it better and make better moves than his opponent. And seeing the opportunity in the girls in a world where women are completely overlooked, pushed to one side. And as Twyla says, you either they just want to marry us or they want to fuck us. And so and he's at his desk and he realizes she's absolutely got a point. They are people of no interest, and actually, brilliant idea for the show. They are the most interesting people about this show. Even when we watch, modern spy dramas, spies, be they part of big franchises or not, all the women that encounter those spies are their lives and their decisions are simply used to enhance the characterization of the spy, the male spy, and drive him forward. And in this show, it's completely the opposite, which is really nice.
Absolutely. Speaking of the ladies, what was it like working with Amelia and Haley? How did their dynamic influence your own, approach to the scenes? What it was like working with the ladies?
They are brilliant. They are brilliant. They really are. They work well. They're a brilliant. It's a it's a buddy movie. It's a buddy series. They wouldn't fit together normally, but they work so well together. It's been brilliantly cast. Um, and they are wonderful team leaders. Amelia is an amazing leader to work with and for as a producer as well on the project. She worked so hard learning the Russian, doing so many scenes, the tears, the fighting, the all the things that she had to do, and then do it in Russian as well. It was really, really good, really good. They're both wonderful.
Talk a little bit about some of the favorite moments. And one of the things that I really like about the show, it blends warmth and also blends humor because sometimes, these types of shows can be very, very serious and use a lot of jargon. And then
Yeah,
people feel so removed because they're like, okay, is this really a show for me? I'm not really a techie person, but this show kind of like pokes fun at that, but by
yeah.
taking some of the choices. So share a little bit about how of a great job it does and not, neglecting the fact it still has to be entertaining. Yes, technically sound, but we still want to have fun.
Yeah, you just answered the question. That's exactly it. I think it's helped. by the fact that it's set in the 70s. So we're not dealing with digital this and microchip that and plugs and Bluetooths and Wi-Fi. We're not dealing with any of that. It's simply information that's observed and held by an individual and carried and then given to another person. So your asset is the individual. Your asset isn't the microchip that they can send or the email they can send or whatever. It's actually them as a person. And there's a lot of love in the show, and a lot of care. The way the two leads care for each other, they have no one else but each other in this dangerous world. That's reflected really well in the series. And we go back to a level of spy drama where leaving a little sticky note on the outside of the window at 10 p.m. means that you can get in by the access key that are left under the mat. And it means all of this stuff. It's old school and it's clever and it makes for great TV in terms of a detective story that you can unpick and see, something happening visually before your eyes rather than people doing this and talking about bits and gigabytes and things.
Absolutely. Now, it being the 70s, was their favorite piece of wardrobe? Because, that was a funky time. I mean, now when you look at it, our parents had, clothes are flammable, but polyester is a whole nother level of, you just have to
Yeah.
ask yourself, what were we thinking? So
Right.
there are moments where you looked in the mirror and you just started to chuckle of yourself.
It's a lot of static. You can see why there was so much hairspray. People would walk across a room and suddenly their hair would like zzz. So I can see why there was so much hairspray. In fact, you know what? There should be a show called Hairspray. Um, it was wonderful. I had a favorite leather jacket that I wore at one point when I was lying on the bonnet of a car. And those flares, yeah, I was glad to say goodbye to the flares. And me, I'm a very stretchy kind of guy. Everything I wear, even if it's a suit, it has to have a level of stretch in it. Otherwise, I feel uncomfortable. Everything I wore,
Had starch.
everything was starched. And I've got to tell you, as an artist, there was no stretch. There was no stretch. I had to cope. I had to cope with no stretch. I did my best. And it was a very bound performance.
Well, you
But it
looked
was lovely. It was
great.
lovely.
You looked great. You know what
It
I
was good
mean?
stuff. It
Like
was good stuff.
we have a better appreciation for our parents, knowing that, we didn't have any choice as kids, but
Yeah.
they made the conscientious choice to wear these outfits. So,
Yes.
salutes to them. And again, salutes to you on this role and all that you do. And it's a pleasure speaking with you.
And you. Thank you very much.
You